Cowboy Nation, we took another running back in the 7th round in Phil Mafah. Now, this is a very interesting pick right here because we took Jadon Blue early in the draft, who's mainly a speedy back. But Phil Mafah out of Clemson had 1,100 yards, had 8 touchdowns, and he's more of the power style running. But is he enough? Will he make the roster? And can he be the thunder to our lightning? We'll find out next. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Lose Takes, and here we do this for the first blame and last congratulated, but we're gonna do a special one for a running back. We care about our running backs as the big boys up front and blocking, and Cowboys got a new running back in Phil Mafah out of Clemson. So we're gonna take a couple of looks at him, just an overall profile. He's supposed to be a power back with a bit of speed. So we're gonna see if we see that in the film right now. So on this first play, we're gonna see him in the open field just a tad bit. Clemson has a pretty good O-line. That's what I've realized from watching this film, and they're gonna do some outside zone action to the left, and we're gonna see how he does. So here we go. He's versus Wake Forest. You know, like I said, like Clemson O-line is pretty well blocked, you know, from right there. But here we can finally see that strength of his at work, and see how he does when he gets up to that next level. So that he's a very good gap action back. So I see why Shoddy, I see why Will McClay had them in their radar, because he does flourishes in this gap scheme. So here he goes again during this 3-4 look. They got a nose, so let's see how to handle this gap scheme run. All right, no, actually, this is a zone action right here because they're zone stepping. So they're trying to make the line of scrimmage as flat as possible. Let's see if he can find the lane. Good job by him. The center is getting beat, but he still still manages to keep it impressive front side by him. Good job by him. Let's see it one more time though. So like I said, pay attention to 55 right here. This would he takes away right there. Like the cutback is now option, so he has to bang it front side right here. So he's got to keep this front side, and good job by him at being and showing some type of athleticism and not getting caught right there and breaking the line of scrimmage. This O-line is doing very well of creating a runway for him. But look at him, look at that. Oh my God, 24. Jesus Christ, man. So here's a gap scheme run right here. They're gonna have a GT counter. They're gonna pull these guys right here up front, pull them around and have them insert. Okay, and he's gonna do a good job of letting it play out, letting the block set up. But we're gonna really pay attention to how he does versus just after contact. Is he accelerating? Is he falling forward? All the important things, man. So here we go right here. There we go. They're pulling, getting the kick out, getting the insert. Good job on him by letting the blockers set up. Let's see what he does. Okay, number 8 should have came out on 45. Okay, he still does, and he whiffs. But look at this is interesting right here. See, and I question about like his power run ability. I pay attention to how like guys are falling off of him and how he's taking on blocks. Can guys square him up, or like how are you evading tackles? Because I'm trying to get a gauge on what really translates to the league. And let's take a look right here. Here's another gap scheme run. He's gonna do a good job of letting them blocks set up. That's gonna be good for Clayton Adams, because we're definitely gonna need that. See right there, he's trying to play with 21. I think like the type of back he is, you need to immediately cut it up right here. I think he's trying to play with it just a little too much. We're getting movement, right? Make him take one step outside and then just immediately get inside, like right here. He should be immediately trying to get inside in this gap. Make this guy just float just a little bit right here, because look at this daylight. I know they're gonna close in, but like you're a downhill runner. I need you to be more proactive in trying to get to your strengths right here. See, look at this. Now, he's see, this is the off balance I was going to talk about, like how he's not a very balanced runner. Always, when a guy's always touching the ground, you got to always like question that. But man, we need to be getting down here like immediately. And good job by him by shaking him off. But hey, and like he turned his run into something. I get it, but it could have been a lot more if he was on balance, in my opinion. Now here's a run that can finally show Phil Mafah's superpower. This is a draw action play here that gets him to the open field and get him to one-on-one with a small defensive back. And just here's another play right here, another gap scheme counter action. I'm telling you, he really feasts in there. And I understand, like more and more I see him running the plays that he has a lot of success on, I'm understanding why they picked him, because here he is letting it set up again. Good job out of the Clemson O-line versus NC State this time. But look at how the lane just opens up and he sees it. Good job. He is a chunk runner. Good chunk run right there, man. And then one last play, man. I just want to show you again, like how once again he thrives in this gap scheme with the counters, because he does a good job of letting the blockers set up right here. Here he goes again. But like that's Phil Mafah out of Clemson. One thing, so let me give my analysis of the kid. Power runner back. They compared him to Marion Barber. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't see it. Marion Barber, not only was he a power runner, rest in peace for one, he was a violent runner. From Phil Mafah, I don't see the violence unless he has a head of steam and he's with a smaller, defender. He has, unless he has that. I don't know. One thing also, I didn't like his contact balance as a running back. I felt like to be a power runner, he runs so incredibly high and not behind his pads that he's liable to get shoestring tackled, arm tackled, and the tackles, sometimes he's not even falling forward on those. So I really question if he can be the power, falling forward type of back. Also, I'll notice a lot of the runs that he had success on, he needed a runway. Shout out to Clemson offensive line. Their offensive line is very good, actually. And they gave him runways, and when they gave him runways, he actually saw it. So I think his vision is pretty good. Just the burst of him getting there. The one play he did see it late. I wanted him to cut back inside. He just needs to understand what his strength is, and I need him to build up and actually develop the more violent runs that he's going to be. He's got to lean into the power run, archetype, and actually being able to turn any type of run, with an extra 2 yards on the end of it. I really don't see that. I see guys wrapping him up. I see guys being able to get an angle on him. I see guys, being able to just turn his momentum against him. Unless he has momentum built up from running downfield, he's pretty much a non-factor. So he's going to be a project. Can I see him coming in and being an immediate impact? No, because there's just too much that need to go on his way for him to be that type of player. But thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. Comment down below, what do you feel about Phil Mafah? But listen, y'all, until next time, peace.